Was it a bad idea to fly my glider through a narrow gap between an international airport and an Air Force base? Join me on this flight to find out. Welcome back, pilots. On this flight back in September, I had an absolute blast team flying with a bunch of friends. We flew together as a pack and helped each other find thermals. It was a tough day, and without the help of my friends, I probably wouldn't have gone nearly as far as I did. There goes an ASG-32MI, and I'm up next. Today I'm launching from Williams Glider Port in Northern California. It's a post-frontal day with low cloud bases, but widespread cumulus throughout the valley. I get off tow at 2,500 feet and spot a dust devil swirling in the distance. That's a good sign. I'm going to head straight there and see if I can find the thermal that's causing it. My friends in Glider 3 and 4 Bravo are right there with me, and I call out the dust devil to them.
See that dust devil?
I fly right over the spot where I saw it, but I don't find any lift, so I double back. The wind is causing the thermal to tilt downwind, and I see that 4 Bravo has found it, just downwind of me. This is a perfect example of how glider pilots can help each other when they're flying together. We call this team flying, and it's not only useful, but it's a ton of fun. When you have more than one glider searching for thermals, you're all more likely to find them. This is going to be important on a day like today because the cloud bases are so low that we don't have a lot of working band. If you try 2 or 3 dead clouds and they don't have lift under them, you might be landing out. If we all stick together, then that's less likely to happen. I hear on the radio that a group of friends who launched earlier are headed south along the foothills, so I head in that direction. I'd like to catch up with them, but they've had quite a head start, so that's not going to happen right away. Even though they're outside of visual range, they're still helping us stragglers by reporting on the conditions ahead over the radio. 4 Bravo is still close on my 6, and we're about to meet up with another friend in 7 Victor. But we soon diverge as I stop to take a short climb. 4 Bravo's ahead of me now, and I see him start to turn under a cloud, so I head over there to join him. And just as I join him, we suddenly turn in opposite directions. This is not good. Fortunately, I quickly recognize the situation and reverse directions so we're both turning the same way. When you're sharing a thermal with other gliders, it's extremely important that you all circle in the same direction. Otherwise, the chances of a collision are greatly increased. We've come alongside Lake Berryessa now, and 4 Bravo, 7 Victor, and I are all close together. These clouds all look great, don't they? But they're definitely not all working. The thermals are cycling fast, and by the time I get to many of these clouds, the lift is already pretty weak. Even though there are 3 of us flying together, we're all taking slightly different lines and sampling different clouds, and when one of us finds a good one, the others join him. This is the essence of team flying. If we were all flying in a line right behind each other, we wouldn't be sampling as much air, and we wouldn't be finding as many thermals. At this point, we hear that the group ahead of us has left the foothills and pushed east into the valley, so we follow them. As we push eastward, we're going to have to be careful to avoid the Class C and Class D airspace around Sacramento. There are plenty of fields out here in the valley, but there are also plenty of airports, and we managed to keep an airport and glide at all times. We're taking every decent thermal we find. Since the cloud bases are so low, and many of them are not working, passing up a good thermal means you may not have time to find another one before you're on the ground. This isn't the best way to make good cross-country speed, but it's a necessary survival tactic on a day like today. We take a meandering path as we work our way through the valley, avoiding the blue gaps and going for the best looking clouds. We're finding that cloud bases are getting lower, and it's getting harder and harder to find clouds that are working. We fall below 3,000 feet for the first time and make a turn toward Lodi Airport in case we have to land there. We finally find a climb and get back up to cloud base. Just then, Glider 3 catches up with us, and we rendezvous with the group that had been ahead of us earlier. We're all one big gaggle now, and the talk on the radio turns to the route that we should take back home. We could easily return to the foothills and go back the way we came, but it's kind of boring to retrace your steps. The other option would be to go up the east side of the valley and make a bit of a triangle of the flight. The only problem is that would require us to thread the needle between Sacramento Class C and Beale Air Force Base. We really don't want to enter either of those airspaces, especially the Air Force Base. But if there's no clouds in that gap, it's going to lead to trouble for us. There's also a dearth of runways in that area, so if we don't find climbs, we'll be landing in a field. I almost decide against it, but then I remember that we're team flying, and we have a lot of gliders together. We'll help each other find thermals, and it'll be all right. Probably. It's easy going over the suburbs of Sacramento, but then we reach the gap between the two airspaces, and there are considerably fewer clouds. It looks like this cloud could be our last climb for a while, so we take everything we can get from it. We're now right in the middle of the gap, right up against Beale airspace. That climb was crucial, but there's still quite a bit of blue sky in front of us. I'm starting to regret coming this way. I can't see where we're going to find our next climb. In desperation, we take a couple of weak climbs. We don't know if these could be our last. Those next clouds seem so far away. We're really going to need them to work when we get there. Hallelujah, we made it back to the clouds. It should be easy going from here on out. There's plenty of clouds and we've almost got Williamson Glide. 4 Bravo and I are still hanging together. We make a short run north, take one last climb, and head for home. This was one of the funnest flights I had all year, because it was shared with friends. Soaring is usually a pretty solitary sport, so it's a real treat to be able to fly in a pack like that for the majority of the flight. 7, final for 16. Upon landing, there were high fives all around, and many stories shared. I hope you viewers enjoyed this as much as I did. I've been saving this video all winter so I could give you something to psych you up for the new soaring season about to start. We're almost out of the winter doldrums in the northern hemisphere. Pretty soon we'll all be playing among the puffy clouds again. Thanks for watching. See you next time.